Yeah, g'day everyone. Just thought I'd do up a video today on the startup procedure that I run through in the Hornet. Before I get into that, what I thought I'd do is just talk a little bit about how I get it all set up before I actually step into the jet. So yeah, let's go through that, and then we'll go through the full ramp start together. So what I've got here, I've just got the main machine down there with DCS running up on that. And then over here I have, I guess, pre-flight for the cockpit. So what we actually have on here, I just grab the mouse. For the cockpit to actually run, I can just minimize this, I think. Yep, so I run Helios up here. It runs the external displays and the standby instruments. DCS BIOS is what connects all the switches to DCS. So it's the magic black box, I guess, between everything that I've built and what DCS have got. And then the other software I run is Voice Attack with Viacom in it. I run Sim Shaker for the base shaker that I have under the seat, and Track IR, of course, and I think that's it to get myself up and running in the cockpit. So I fly with a squad called ANZUS, great group of guys that fly very regularly, and we will do a debrief, jump in standard sort of Discord. We will go through the flight like any normal debrief. I've got all my charts here for the different theatres that we have, and checklist, startup procedures, these type of things here. And then I have just a little kneeboard here, so I can write down notes for the briefing. I can do the full data card stuff there as well. So I'll get those ready for the flight and take them into the cockpit with me. But for tonight, we'll just leave them there. Once we're all sorted and everyone's ready to go, then I will go over to the pit. What I normally do before I get into the pit is I will jump into the game, find the server that we're on for the night, find my slot, jump into the slot. I do have some issues with the cockpit covering so much of the monitor here during the multiplayer session. Some of the buttons you need to actually connect are down here somewhere, and I just can't see them from the cockpit. So I usually get myself all set up, ready to go. I usually come over, I'll bring over the maps and data card and everything I need, sort of get them all ready in the pit. And then I just generally do a quick sweep here of the cockpit, make sure the switches are where they need to be, and that everything is looking good. So I can see the standby instruments, so Helios is up and running. I can see my little OLEDs up and running, doing their thing, so DCS BIOS is doing its thing. Sometimes at night I'll come in and I'll turn the flood lighting on just to sort of help me look around there. So once I've done that, I'll grab everything that I need, and then we'll jump into the pit. So let's do that. Alrighty, so here we are in the cockpit. So let's get it started. So battery power on, we see the battery switch comes on, caution panel's working, FCS. Not going to do the fire test, not much point here in the sim. Do it sometimes, depending on how nerdy I feel, but not tonight. So APU switch to on. All I really do over here is just check that I got the APU accumulation light come up there. Just make sure I know the wing throttle is working as well. Light comes on, I normally just turn on the lights, strobe lights there, and we will crank the right engine. So there we go. Waiting for 20 RPM. Put the fuel in. These are the emergency APU light on. There's also one on this side here for the battery. So they come on when you don't have generator power for the battery and when you have to use instruments. So there we go, up to full RPM there. So we will turn that on. Sorry about the noise, just C130 disappear there. And here comes another one, so hopefully you can hear me well. Got our radios on. I might just close the canopy. Just got a canopy switch here, just pushing that down. Right, canopy lights out. So back to our radios on, VDI on, AMPC on, turn on the ALR, ECM to bit. Just make sure the standby instrument here looks good. That looks good. Radar out, so just let it do its thing. And yeah, we will set that to, yeah, about 200 is fine. So just do a quick test there. That looks good. Come down here, we will give ourselves some instrument lighting and console lighting here as well. We'll turn our radar on. We'll also turn on our INS and set that to right there. We'll come over. What I'll do normally here is a light test. So I do actually do the light test because I need to make sure that everything is going to come on and everything looks good there tonight. So that looks good. So we'll get our left engine going. So cranking over, come back to the IFE.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Looking good. All up. We'll turn our APU off. That should be a magnetic switch, but in the wind wing it's not. So we'll turn that off manually. We'll just do another sweep. So we'll turn back here. We'll go RWR, weapon, mid-Z, mid-Bravo, and tack-in over the other way around. We'll do a FCS reset while we're here, and we'll do a takeoff trim while we're here as well. We'll set our hook bypass to on, we'll leave our taxi light off, we'll set our flaps to half, anti-skid to on. So that looks pretty good. Couple of SOP things for our squad. We'll turn on I'll just make a squawk up tonight. Tack-in, I'm at Las Vegas, so I think it's 12, and we'll turn that on, and yep, that's correct. And we've got tack-in, so I'll just turn that down. While I'm there, I can see that is set to OK, so I'll just set the INS to IFA, so that looks good. Alright, TACAM was up. Some tankers in our theatre taking off here. It's pretty cool. Data link. So we use data link in our squad here. We've got some defaults to what we use here. I just use 4 for tonight, but we usually have Bravo on our intra-flight and then voice alpha as our squad, so 77 squad. So I'd be sitting here if I can just, there we go, got a 77 squad jet here, looking good. So yeah, that's what we are tonight. Right, what else we got going on? So we've done our download, we'll turn our HUD on there, so we see he comes up and looks pretty good. We might just zoom, I might leave it out. We'll clear our bit tests. As I said, I don't do all the bit tests. We can say at 12, 30 degrees, that all looks good. I'd set that to override. Come down to the HSI, and a couple of things I always do. I will set my position to GPS, that's for more accurate bombing, And then we always set the bullseye to 59 because that allows us to do that in the game. We're heading out to the range today, and I usually set that to nav bank limiter. That just limits when you're in autopilot how much the aircraft will bank. So a little bit easier on the aeroplane. That all looks good. HSI looks good. I'll just turn that down a little bit. We might just select tack in there tonight, and I think we'll be doing 290 departure. Yeah. That might be wrong. Yeah, I think it's 020 from memory. Alrighty, and what do you know? There goes a nice AWACS across the thing, and a refueler taking off in the background, so that's pretty cool. Radios, these are just standard presets for our squad, so nothing to worry about there. And then just one final sweep. So I usually just come back around here. Yep, oxygen volumes look good. That's all set. Lights are on. Good position lights when I go out there. If I'm ready to taxi, I'll turn the taxi light on. Landing gears down, flaps half. Set my bingo to whatever might be appropriate for that particular mission. Do a quick look at my stores. I've got nothing on the jet tonight, just for this mission, for this video, I should say.
Bingo.
So,
Bingo.
there we go. Accidentally set the bingo, kept going around in circles there. So I'm just setting back to something normal. 2000, that looks good. I don't think I got anything else to do there. HMD's on, so I do have, just so you can see, hopefully it's not too weird for you, I do have track IR, so I can look around. There's some Hornet jets over there doing some stuff, and Nellis looking pretty good, so yeah, so that all works as well. So guys, I think that's pretty much about it. A couple other things, you know, I generally run a bit test on the raw just to make sure that display is up and running. It's pretty good. In terms of the ECM and dispenser and those sort of things, I usually just wait until I'm in the air to go through and set up all those type of things when I'm doing my fence checks. And I would say that I am ready to taxi at this point in time. I'll taxi out to the runway. I will arm my ejection seat. I do that via this switch here at the moment. That because I don't have a proper ejection seat in here at this stage, so I'm just using that. In terms of just some general stuff with the cockpit, I've got these buttons. So there's 8 buttons there, 8 buttons here, and then all of these buttons along here can actually just control parts of the game. So if I want to rearm, I can just click one of those buttons and that comes up. If I want to have a look at the F10 map, flip one of them, away we go. If I need to exit, all that sort of stuff there as well. So I've got full control of the game at this point in time. So guys, hopefully that is useful for you. It's a fairly long video tonight, about 15 minutes or so. So yeah, that's how I start up the Hornet in the cockpit. See you later.